Hey, what's up guys? It's COE33 here with part 4 of our game room tour. Today we're going to show you our Sega Genesis collection. One of our new subscribers, Hero Style, he's a musician, and I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel in the description below. He requested that we do a Sega Genesis collection, so that's what we're going to do. I wish I had a lot more Sega Genesis games than I do. I think I have almost 40 at the moment. There's a whole bunch of them that I really want to add to the collection that I don't have yet, that I used to have when I was a kid, but I usually wait to pick up games until I find them in the wild for a good price, so sometimes you just have to be patient. That said, we have our Model 1 Sega Genesis here on our CRT television. Leaf is playing the original Sonic the Hedgehog. That's her favorite game on the system. We both love collecting for the Sega and playing it. It's definitely one of our favorite systems. Back in the day, all my friends had a Super Nintendo, and I went with the Sega Genesis during the whole 16-bit wars era in the early 90s. And I was really happy with my decision, and I loved the Sega Genesis. I must have had 100 games for it back in the day, and I even had like the Sega CD and the Nomad and all the Sega accessories. I didn't have a 32X, but I wanted one. I just didn't end up getting one. So what we'll do is go upstairs and I'll show you the collection. Alright guys, we're headed upstairs. Here's Oscar. Say hi to YouTube, bud. Up here we have our Sega collection, but we also have one of my favorite pieces that we have in our collection, which is the dedicated Sega Genesis arcade cabinet. I did build this myself. It has a laptop in there that's running the Sega Classics collection on Steam, so it's got 55 Sega Genesis games on it, and they're all controlled with the joystick, so I just cycle through the games, and then I pick whatever I want to play. So if I want to play Vector Man, I just press the start button, fires up the game. Printed out that marquee. It does light up. I have a LED light behind there, and I have a lot of fun with this thing. I actually have photos of the build that I'll go ahead and insert right now. And yeah, that's my Sega arcade cabinet. And then I can just exit out of any game by pressing this button right here. And then I can cycle through the games. I can save, which is kind of fun. It's definitely something you could not do back in the day. And then I have a ottoman here, and it's actually a pretty neat ottoman from, I believe it's Level Up is the company. It has a controller storage basically. So here, I'll move my iPad here and show you. So I have all my controllers in there, and then in the top here, in the lid, it's got some pretty nifty little controller holders. I've got the Retron 3 controllers in there at the moment. Speaking of the Retron 3, I have a Retron 3 hooked up to this really old school CRT television, but I also have it hooked up to an LED projector that's hiding. You can't really see it there. And one of my favorite things to do is put my Sega Genesis games in the Retron 3 and then project them onto the large projector screen that we have and play them that way. That's a lot of fun. So moving over here, we have our Model 2 Sega Genesis. It's underneath the Super Nintendo. You can kind of barely see it there. I don't use that very much, to be honest. And this is not the ideal television for Sega Genesis. It looks like crap on this thing. But that's okay. Up here, I have my boxed Model 1 Sega Genesis. Really happy with the core system. Really happy to have that in our collection. And a 6-button arcade stick. I use that for like Street Fighter and fighting games and whatnot. So definitely two nice pieces for the collection. Moving over here to the wall video games, we have all our Sega Genesis carts. Up top here we have a little Sega sign. I put signs on top of the different shelves. So this is the Nintendo shelf, the Sega shelf, the PlayStation shelf, and then the PC shelf over here. And some of the games. There we go. Now, I wish we had more. There's a whole bunch of games that I really want to add to the collection. Still need Earthworm Jim 2, Moonwalker, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, all the Streets of Rage games. I want physical copies of those. There's quite a few that we're missing that I used to have when I was a kid. But that said, we have Earthworm Jim. That's complete with the poster and everything. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Eternal Champions, it's a fun fighting game. Jurassic Park, that game's kind of aggravating now, but I remember I used to really enjoy it as a kid. Beavis and Butthead, that's another really challenging game that drives me crazy when I play it now, but I used to own it as a kid and enjoyed it. Echo the Dolphin, I really like those games. Uh, at the time, they were graphically incredible, and they still hold up. Really pretty games. All our loose carts, I'll go through those in a second. X-Men 2, those are a lot of fun. I like the first one a little bit better than the Clone Wars, but that's still a good game. Thunderstrike 3, that was a good Goodwill find. A couple bucks for that. Shinobi 3, love the Shinobi games. Lots of fun. I still go back to those every once in a while and play them. NFL Quarterback Club 96, Columns, it's a fun kind of Tetris style game. Cool Spot, Animaniacs, Mortal Kombat. Definitely love Mortal Kombat. NBA Jam Tournament Edition, that's probably my favorite sports game of all time. I still play that with my friends and we have a good time with that. Some Dreamcast stuff. Down here we have a boxed copy of Comic Zone. That's one of my favorite games on the system probably, and the box that I have is pretty rough, but at some point the Sega Genesis made the decision to switch from these really nice clamshell cases that hold up great to these cardboard cases which are just dreadful. I think out of all the game cases that have ever been made, these original Sega Genesis clamshells are probably my favorite. They're extremely sturdy, they look great, they used to come with all kinds of goodies like posters and lots of inserts and really nice manuals. So I wish they stayed with that the whole life cycle of the system, but they were probably trying to cut costs and unfortunately they went to the cardboard. Moving up here to some of our loose carts, I'll try to go through these as quick as possible. We got Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the not for resale version. We got the retail version of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I love the Sonic games. Some of my favorite games of all time. Desert Demolition, this is the Roadrunner game. That's a lot of fun, actually. Aladdin, those Disney games back on the Sega Genesis were really good. There's Lion King and Aladdin, and all of them are a lot of fun. There's Lion King right there. The art style on those games are incredible. They were all hand-drawn by Disney artists. Thunderstrike 2, really bad shape on the label there, but still, I like those Thunderstrike games. They're a lot of fun. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. Taz, Escape from Mars. The original Tasmania game, another game that I used to have as a kid and really enjoyed. Shakan, that's a fun game. I never had this growing up, but I picked it up at a St. Vincent de Paul. It's a thrift store, and it was a couple dollars, and I took a chance on it and really enjoy it. Ren and Stimpy, probably my favorite cartoon of all time, Ren and Stimpy, and this game is pretty short and it's not that difficult. I've gone through it a couple times. I enjoy it though. It's a lot of fun. It's got some good humor, really nice art. Tiny Toon, Buster's Hidden Treasure, Wheel of Fortune, whatever. Street Fighter 2 Special Championship Edition, probably my favorite old school fighting game of all time. Label's pretty rough on this, but it plays well and I enjoy it. Cliffhanger, I'm a sucker for action movies and anything with Sylvester Stallone or Arnold I'm a big fan of, and Cliffhanger is one of my favorite movies. The game's not very good. I had this on the Sega CD growing up. I don't recall that being very good either. I think it had some cutscenes from the movie in it, possibly. But yeah, I've tried to play through that recently and just couldn't do it. It's pretty bad. Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. Menacer, I'm still looking for one of these Menacer light guns so I can play this. Caesar's Palace. Leaf really enjoys playing these old kind of Caesar's Palace gambling games. Wolfchild, that's a fun game. Pitfall, Mayan Adventure. Brutal Paws of Fury. And another loose copy of NBA Jam. So that is my Sega Genesis collection, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Really appreciate y'all subscribing. We're almost to 50 subscribers right now. As I'm filming this video, we have 46 subscribers. Really appreciate it. We're going to do that giveaway when we hit 50. So keep an eye out for our next On the Hunt episode, and at the end of that, we'll give details of what we're giving away and how to enter into the giveaway. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye.